Hey YouTubers, you guys ever start working on your car and you open up your hood for the first time and you come across this issue? Come here, let me show you. What the hell? Or even this. What the hell? Or even this. This is probably the strangest things I ever found inside my engine when I opened up the hood. Check this out. What the hell? So the reason why I'm telling you all this is because I work on my car a lot. I work on my truck on a weekly basis, and I bring a lot of tools into the engine compartment, and not all of them always get off the truck when I'm done. So a week later when I open up my hood, God damn it, I'm trying to make a video. So when I'm done working on my car and I come back the following week to open up my hood, I find tools in here. So, and that's my bad. That's my bad. I become very complacent sometimes. So in order to solve that problem, I have to think of ways where I can work on my vehicle without having to bring tools onto the truck itself. So how do you go about doing that? So first, I find out what I connect and disconnect often when I work on my engine. And one of these components is the battery itself. I disconnect the batteries and reconnect the batteries all the time, especially when I work on electrical components. The specs calls out to disconnect your battery before working on certain components inside your vehicle. So in order to do that, I always have to use a 12 millimeter and 10 millimeter to disconnect my battery. So today we're going to solve that problem, and let me show you a product I found that is going to help us out with this issue. We're going to have to try to find a product that is going to accommodate my battery post, this huge gauge cable that's connected to my battery post, and all the electrical wires that's going straight to my positive terminal. Okay, and these are my fog lights and my LED light bars, and they go straight to here. I got to find a way to disconnect this and reconnect this without using any tools. So let's go ahead and find that product. Here you go, guys. With a lot of research on Amazon, I was able to find a quick release battery post connector. Right here, it looks pretty sporty if you ask me. I got one for the positive and one for the ground. And what's good about this is it accommodates my 4 gauge cable, which is my big battery cable wire. It could go right in here. And not only that, it has 4 Allen screws right here that it can accommodate my accessories for my LED light bars, my fog lights, or any other accessories that I want to add on to my power without having to disconnect my battery post. And whenever I work on the vehicle, I can just go ahead and quick release it, pull this off, all in one shot. All my wires that are already attached to this will come off all at once instead of one by one. So when I'm done with it, put it back on the battery post and lock this into place. I can tighten it, I can loosen it on my free will. Same thing with the ground. Not exactly sure why you would need all of these extra Allen fasteners for the ground, but it is there for you to use, and it does open and close the same way as your positive. Okay, so let's go ahead and install these bad boys. Go ahead and disconnect my fog lights first. Get this out of the way. Set this aside. I don't think I'm ever going to use that ever, so just set this aside. There you go. Take off the, because we're going to reuse this, and we're going to reuse this right here, but we're going to remove the original OEM battery post connector right here with the 10 millimeter. There you go. Now we're going to angle this in such a way that it's going to help us lock this into place without it bumping into any other piece. Okay, so we got to accommodate this ground post right here at a weird angle, so we're going to have to figure out an angle that's going to work out. So what I did, you guys, and I didn't show this on the video, is this battery bracket right here has two prongs that face down. When it faces down, it's going to hit the copper metal piece right here, and I don't want it to hit. In order to do that, I had to take a pair of pliers and I had to bend it up, and when you bend it up, it breaks off really easily. Now it can go right on. Now I can go ahead and place all these back on here without any further issue. So what I did was, instead of placing it on this screw right here, I'm placing it on the top post, only because it accommodates this battery cable right here, its weird angle. Let's go ahead and tie it in. Don't forget to put your fuzzy washer on there for corrosion resistance. Now we're going to go ahead and lock this into place. We're going to find that happy medium in order for this to lock into place. It's got to be a tight fit, okay? So we're going to keep turning this knob right here until we can get a pretty good tight lock. It's got to be in a good position. You want this to be in the right angle. You want it to go straight across this way instead of pointing up or down. Just like that. Look at that. That shit ain't going nowhere, man. It's pretty tight. Now we have to accommodate these power lines right here that goes to my LED light bar and my my fog lights. Okay, so now we're gonna have to find one of these posts that's gonna fit. I can use the original post that hooked up the battery, or I could use these other ones right here. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? Just for reach access, I'm going to go ahead and use the original post. I didn't make these wires long enough right here to reach out over there, maybe except this one. But I think it'll look cleaner if I just put everything onto one post. The kit did not come with an extra washer. I had to use my own washer right here to gain better surface space because of my power loop right here is a big round loop right here. I need to cover, so I'm going to put an extra washer right there in order to get more contact. Make sure you don't cross thread anything, and if you do, you got 3 other Allen fasteners you can play around with. Right here, I'm going to go ahead and put both of my power cables on here. I don't have to worry about this ever getting loose, only because there's plenty of thread to play with, so I'm not worried. Let's lock this into place. Make sure your battery post is tight, even on your ground. Now let's go ahead and take a step back and look at what it looks like. Okay, let me clean all this up a little bit, and maybe I can show you guys. All right, guys. Here is the final product right here. All I needed was a 10mm and a 12mm to do the whole entire job, and an extra set of Allen key that came with the kit itself, so I didn't have to purchase this. But everything else was fairly simple. I had a pair of pliers or crimpers in order to break off one of the tabs in order to make this cable right here fit. Other than that, everything worked out pretty well. If you don't like this weird angle that I put this ground cable at, you can actually use one of the top posts to connect them, okay? So if you look on their website where I purchased this from, it does say it's made out of material that is corrosion resistant, so that helps out a lot, and also gave you the fuzzy washers for free. And you know, these things are like $2-3 at the auto parts store. The only reason why my wiring looks a little spaghetti-like is because I didn't clean them up yet. I can actually extend these wires and make it into a cleaner job. But other than that, these quick releases work really good, and I'm going to give you a demonstration right now on how the quick releases work. Imagine me having to come to the car and disconnect the battery. If I had to disconnect the battery, I had to go one by one to each wire and then the battery post itself, and that's going to take a few minutes longer than what I have on a beautiful Saturday morning. So what I do is I grab this red lever right here, I open it up, wiggle it out, and the whole entire battery post comes right out, just like that. Done. Simple. When I'm done, I want to reconnect the battery. I can go ahead and lock it into place with this lever, lock it into place. Done. And if you take a step back and take a look at this, it looks really sporty, the way that it's made and the way that it looks. And the good thing about this is it comes in red and black to separate the power and the ground visually. So this is also visually appealing. Okay, you're gonna have let me see. You're just a fat dog. You're just a fat dog. We can't use you in this video. Okay, forget it. Forget it. You're out. You're out.